Is that the Facebook Live thing back there? Okay. We are not live. Oh, we are live. Hey, how about that, Facebook? Okay. This is hi everybody on Facebook. Do we have any viewers? You don't see? If we have viewers, hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many there are. We look forward to a fun evening. Hopefully, we will say everybody's name correctly and move on. We are live. We're going to say, oh, that's for that. This is behind the, what is it? The man behind the curtain is the, what is it about? That's what this is like for the Facebook people. You got something peppier out there? No? Never mind. I'll just do this job. Be quiet. And you're going to draw the names of people for flowers. We're on Facebook. Just be sure that you know that right now.
Thank you.
So I want to make sure that you know we're hot. We're hot and live. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're here live on Facebook. Okay, good. So you're going to do that. Are you drawing names, they told me, for flowers or something? Okay.
Well, Janine's going to give them to me.
Okay. Do you know how to pronounce every one of these names? Because I don't. No, it's all right. No, I'll make it up. I can do a pretty good job, I think. We're on Facebook. There's a lot of people are here. So the rest of the people aren't here.
Yep.
So did you do the? Okay.
They pay in alphabetical order.
So we'll see if we have time. Maybe I announce all the rest of the time. Really? This person is.
Yes.
She's funny. She works for me. Interesting. Hi, Facebook. Just reminding myself.
Yes.
No, it's fine. I got it up here. Yeah. And do you know, was the principal of that building? Right. They were, but they might not be. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Thank God they told me. What's that?
Oh, yes, we know.
No, we know. We're on Facebook. We're on Facebook right now as we
keep
speak.
reminding that to one another.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're speaking in tongues, as it were.
If only we understood each other's tongue.
We don't. Yes. All right, so. All
Can I
right.
leave my speech here then first?
What's that?
My speech? I have a speech.
Yeah. Do you want to? So, I'll tell you what. We can put you right in a speech. Why don't you just throw it in? I'll do this.
Okay.
I'll lift it. I like to hear. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Remember me? Hold on.
You can sit wherever you would like. We're actually going to remove the reserved seating.
Of course I come prepared for Nancy. Hey, is your son still working on it? Is your son still working on it? Did she? Yeah, the same thing, right? Folks, you can sit wherever you want. Retirees can sit front and center. Over there. You know what? I didn't do this gig to be heckled. I'm getting paid nothing. Zilch. Let's start there. The only thing I can't get into it. Wow. You could do that. Maybe if you go over there so you're elevated a bit, that would work. Welcome everybody. You can take a seat wherever you want. I guess retirees, they tell me, should be in this area. Yeah, sit where you want. We're all going to be walking. We'll do Zumba later. It's all good. Welcome, welcome. Sit where you'd like. So I just saw somebody. of your world. No, is that Little Mermaid? Yeah, that's Little Mermaid, right? Okay.
Oh, it is?
Hi, everybody. Well, that's like a lukewarm welcome here. Good evening, everybody. Well, that's a little bit better, for crying out loud. We're here to celebrate 50 people who are retiring from Framingham Public Schools. Wow. Woo! I was told two things as I left Potter Road today. My office manager looked at me. She said, "What funeral are you going to?" That was nice. And this is not a funeral. This is a celebration. And Michelle DaCosta, my lovely assistant principal sitting over there, looked at me and said, "Please don't embarrass us, whatever you do." I may have already done at least one of those two things. So I want to talk about something really special, right? So you came in and you saw that there were these huge photos of all the retirees. So how's this for a parting gift? On your way out the door, only if you're the retiree, not the retiree spouse, you can actually take those home, okay? And I know that there's one, yeah, because who doesn't want a 12 by 12 portrait of themselves in their house? So that's your gift. And I do know there's one. And Tiago, I'm going to put HR on the spot here for just a second. You're going to change that one where there's a misspelling, right? Can we get that? There's one. Where is she? Kathy, get a mark. Where is she? Over there. I see her. Yeah, there was a misspelling, and we're going to get that all taken care of. What's that? Oh, with the state too? The Ina's here. She'll talk about that later, not now. Okay, so I do want to spend a minute and welcome everybody to the Framingham Public Schools first recognition award ceremonies for retirees. I am Larry Walpe. I'm the principal of Potter Road. They called me up about a month ago. Maybe it was like 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Tiago's like, "Larry, will you do this for us?" And my wife had a question. She said, "How much money are they paying you?" I said, "Nothing." And so that's how I'm here. And with that, so there's no, people have said to me, making any jokes. No, there's nothing pre-planned. I actually have a pretty set script, but we'll make them as they come. I want to start by saying the Oxford Dictionary defines retirement as the action of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. So I considered this definition, and I thought, well, this kind of puts like a period or maybe an exclamation point on years of hard work and dedication to a profession that we love, and I just don't think that's fair. With that, I want us to just stop and pause and reconsider that definition. I've been thinking about so many of you in the room. Many of you have had the pleasure of working back when I was a substitute teacher, some friends from McCarthy over there. So how about McCarthy? I can't recognize everybody, but I'll say it for my friends at McCarthy. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking it's really turning the page, right? It's just this new chapter. It's enjoying a new adventure. It is a life without calling or responding to support calls on walkie-talkies. It is truly the next phase of life, and as I look throughout the room, I think so many of you, given the last 2 years, we'll say, would love to be in your shoes, so thank you. And with that, I know many of you have spouses, children, grandchildren, travel, new houses on the horizon. As you gear up for your next adventure, on behalf of everybody in this room, I just want to say thank you. So please, a round of applause for all the retirees. So tonight we're going to spend some time thanking people. I want to remind everybody to please be on their best behavior. We are live on Facebook. Say hello to the folks at Facebook over there. Hi. I don't know if we have any viewers back there. Thank you. Good backwards wave. Nice work. There are some incredible people in the room tonight, and we want to recognize them, and I'm going to do my level best to make sure that we include everybody. And if I left you out, be sure to grab Bob at the end of this. So we have City Council Chair Phil Ottaviani over here. We have Valerie Ottaviani from the school committee. All right, there you go over there. We have Janet Lee and Bruno from the City Council. I believe you're over there as well, yes. We have Bev Hugo. I saw you earlier, right? We had a mocktail or something together. We have Tiffany Maskell. I saw her. There she is over there from the school committee. We have, oh, see, I already messed up. It happens. I was supposed to do this one first. We have the ministry, Lucia Meira, the Deputy Consul General, the Consulate of Brazil in Boston. Where is she? Where is she? Where? So I run a dual language school, and we need Brazilian teachers. Can you expedite the process? Can you help out? No? Maybe. She's giving me a friendly nod, so we'll see how far that goes. And we also have Kathy Davies O'Leary. She is Human Resources from the city of Framingham. She'll be making sure that you get what you need. And Jack Patrick Lewis, the state representative. Where is he? He just came in. There he is over there. All right. Not to mention, we have principals. Raise your hand if you're a principal here. Assistant principals. We have department heads. We have central office administrators. They're around us here. There are all sorts of people. Now, the real stars of this evening are the 50 incredible professionals who are retiring. Among these, we have teachers, we have nurses, we have administrators, we have principals, we have secretaries, we have paraprofessionals, we have custodians, and we have food services employees. So big round of applause for all of that. So before we officially recognize our guests of honor, want to hear from the woman who these folks should contact if they have any questions about vacation days or the possibility of eligibility for retirement and associated benefits. Her inbox is officially more full than mine. Please welcome our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Ina, not Ina, London. Here she is. She's hopping her way to the stage. Here we go.
Thank you. I'd like to make a grand entrance. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. My name is Ina London, for those of you who don't know, and I am the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. And it is really my great pleasure to welcome our retirees and their guests for the first recognition award ceremony to honor almost 50 Framingham Public Schools retirees. And I know we already clapped for retirees and our city officials and principals and vice principals, but I also want to have an honor, a moment of honor for the guests who've shared the retirees with us for so many years. Thank you so much. So education has always been a somewhat equal dose of challenging and fulfilling, and generally the scales have been somewhat symbiotic. However, I think we can all agree that the last few years have definitely given us an overdose, if you will, of challenging and perhaps some questionable dose of fulfilling. And I do want to say that each year, each and every one of you persevered through those challenging times, especially the last couple of times. And I'm sure that many of you wanted to give up on many days, and yet you continued to come in with a smile on your face, with compassion, with kindness, with patience, as much as you could muster. It's been tough. And we've all really appreciated it. I can say it for a fact that we in the Office of Human Resources appreciated your commitment. And so I do want to thank you for rising to the challenges that COVID placed in your path, especially at the end of your careers. And I want to thank you again for the grace, compassion, and humor with which you dealt with those challenges. And on behalf of the district, I do want to thank each and every one of you. So I was, it's funny because Principal Volpe looked at the dictionary in preparation for this event tonight, and as an English teacher, I feel almost embarrassed that I didn't. Instead, I turned to Google, and I was looking for a joke because I clearly wanted to be the best speech tonight. And so I Googled retirement jokes, and I spent like 45 minutes, closer to an hour, Googling and reading every retirement joke there is. And I just want you to know that my 3 children went hungry because I refused to make them dinner because I was working. And so when I couldn't find any good retirement jokes, I decided to brainstorm, and I Googled funny retirement jokes, because I'm innovative like that. No, got nothing. There are no funny retirement jokes out there, just so you know. And so I was trying to think of what to do, but because I was reading jokes, I ran into a really funny one that has nothing to do with retirement. So I'm going to read it to you, because in addition to not being very funny myself, I'm also a really bad joke teller. So I'm just going to read this joke, okay? Okay. Stan, the actual name in the joke was Stumpy, and I thought it was really inappropriate. So we're going to go with Stan. Stan and his wife Martha went to the state fair every year. Every year, Stan would say, "Martha, I'd like to ride in that airplane. I feel like there should be like a southern dialect, but I can't do one." And every year, Martha would say, "I know, Stan, but that airplane ride costs $5. And $5 is $5. This one year, Stan and Martha went to the fair, and Stan said, "Martha, I am 71 years old. If I don't ride that airplane this year, I may never get another chance." Martha looked at Stan and said, "Stan, that airplane ride costs $5. And $5 is $5. The pilot overheard them and said, "Folks, I'll make you a deal. I'll take you both up for a ride. If you can stay quiet for the entire ride and not say a word, I won't charge you. But if you even say one word, it's $5. Well, Stan and Martha agreed to go, and up they go. The pilot does all kinds of twists and turns, rolls and dives, but not a word or a squeal is heard. He does all his tricks over again, but still, not a word or a sound. They land, and the pilot turns to Stan and says, "By golly, I did everything I could think of to get you to yell out, but you didn't. I can't charge you the $5. This ride is free." Stan replied, "Well, I was going to say something when Martha fell out, but $5 is $5. I hope you all have an amazing ride. Congratulations.
Hey, did you want to thank you? Do you want to do this?
Yes, I do. I was so excited about thanking all of you that I did forget to thank some very important people. I'd like to thank the Office of Human Resources for the amazing job that they did for tonight. So if you can just help me. It's a little awkward because I was going to call their names and you clapped, so now you'll have to clap again. Woo-hoo. Tiago Gardens. Everton Vargas Acosta, Janina Blondie, Ashley Bletzer, Stephanie Ristusha, Monte Connolly, Dylan Hogan, and Diego Morrissey. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful time.
That was good. Yeah. Seriously, trust and learn from the silence, right? I was in the middle. There's a whole list of names here that we're going to get to in a couple of minutes. But so next up, we want to welcome the chairwoman of the Framingham School Committee, who we didn't recognize earlier because I knew when we were getting to this. So Priscilla Sosa's got a few words for us. Here we go.
Thank you so much. I did not Google any jokes, I'm sorry. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm honored to have this opportunity to be here, recognizing so many years of collective service to our community, to our children. While I understand I get the occasional question asking me at the high school if I'm graduating this year, by the way, shout out to the coolest fourth grade teacher Framingham's ever seen, Michelle DaCosta. I understand she's not retiring this year, but if Larry's not going to embarrass her, I will. I understand. What I do is I spend my nights awake thinking about our students and the foundation that we are leaving for them for the rest of their lives. The foundation that each and every one of you have helped build for them for the rest of their lives. And that makes today bittersweet. I'm excited for the retirees' anticipated transition, but frankly put, bummed for us. 50 incredible custodians of our future retiring this year and leaving our school district a little more empty. Your personalities, your institutional knowledge, your experience, and your dedications will be sorely missed by all, especially me and my school committee colleagues. There are not enough thank yous to express our appreciation that you have chosen Framingham as the community where you shared your gifts. So congratulations, felicidades, parabéns, for your wonderful careers and best wishes for your next phase. It has been a pleasure to work with all of you. And I will echo my words to this year's graduating class to all of our young retirees. Now, go forward, take over the world, my dear Flyers, Hawks, Wolves, Pandas, Lions, Panthers, Eagles, and more. Thank you.
And finally, before we officially congratulate our retirees, please welcome Dr. Bob Tremblay.
Thank you, Larry, and good evening, everyone. This is really a tremendous event, and I thank you all for coming out. We recognize the front of the house and the back of the house in these kinds of events. I want to take a moment just to acknowledge the back of the house. Ina mentioned about the HR department, but also sound and lights are part of this, the technology to broadcast this. Mariah, who's here, taking photos that you'll see in a slide presentation. Everyone comes together in celebration of our school community, our school family. So if we would offer up a round of applause, please, to the back of the house who does that back-end work. When I came into the school district in 2017, I started in April of that year, and it was just coming upon the year-end activities. And among those activities was a celebration of retirees. Then school committee chair Heather Connolly said, well, Bob, we should do something for the retirees. You know, this is what we've done in the past. We'll have a cake for them, and we'll invite them to the school committee meeting, and we'll celebrate them. Beverly Hugo, I think you were one of the few that were there with me that night when nobody came for the cake cutting. We ate the cake, and we said we need to come up with a better way to do this. And so the following year, Chris Mulroney is in the house too. I want to give Chris a shout out as well. Chris, thank you, FTA president. It was the following year that Chris and I said we have to find some way to celebrate our retirees so they don't just go off in June when school ends and forgotten. And said, well, we always do a year-end kind of event, so we went to the Elks, and we did a celebration at the Elks. Now, admittedly, they have a pretty good pour at the Elks, so that's not a bad thing. There's no pour tonight. Some people did come in asking where the wine and beer was. I'm sorry we've let you down. This is a school. We can't do that in Framingham. But the Elks was a good, I think, next step for us. This feels sort of like a Goldilocks story, trying to find just the right, this is just the just right way to acknowledge and to respect and to dignify people who've worked so hard on behalf of children. And then came COVID. And as we were trying to figure out what the next best thing to do is to recognize retirees, we took to putting lawn signs in people's yards and driving around and putting signs, right? So some of you are here, so you had the sign. Do you still have it in your lawn, or did you take it down? It's in your garage. Okay, great. So we did lawn signs to try to acknowledge in an impossible time to acknowledge people. Then we figured out Zoom. So the following year, we were able to bring retirees on screen during a school committee meeting. A few did come. It was very convenient to do that, but still not the way I think that tonight dignifies our retirees. So it was an event. I was with the HR department. In fact, I recommended our Human Resources department for an award. They they won that award, and we were in Boston at a reception. I was with the entire HR department before you joined our team. And it was a tremendous ceremony where the governor spoke and other department heads at the state level, and they had pictures of the awardees, and much like you saw tonight coming in, and we said, this is the way we should do it. This is how we should replicate this, and Tiago took the ball and ran with that. So Tiago, to you and to your team, thank you for doing that in such a great way. So I'm not sure if we got it just right or not, if this is the Goldilocks, the just right, or if we went, this bed is too hard or too soft, whatever it may be. I think this one is pretty good. It's feeling pretty good so far, and if you think it is too, you can let us know that for feedback, and we hope this would become first annual event. And what a wonderful way to celebrate it in our brand new school. Carrie Wood, principal, who's here, Mike Stevens, Lisa Caliandro, the administration. Thank you to Fuller Middle School for hosting us. We are in the Chris Walsh Performing Arts Center, and it's really an honor to invite you all to share in this space with us for such a dignified event this evening. With that being said, we're going to move now to an awards presentation. So, Everton, I'm not sure who's facilitating. Larry, I'll turn it back to you for the announcement of names. And again, I'm sorry?
We'll try.
Okay, we'll do our very best. And then is there still more of a reception afterwards, or are we sending everybody home?
We've got a few things planned for after. We'll get to that.
Okay, well, I got ahead of myself here. I got very excited. So once again, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's great to have so many leaders in our community come together in celebration of our staff. And to all of our staff, thank you. I know that many of you could have left before now. And I want to acknowledge that we are aware that many of you stayed to have that in-person experience to close your chapters with your students. And for that extra effort and that extra time, for those of you who did that, our deepest gratitude to all of you for seeing that through and giving the kind of closure for our students that they too deserve. So thank you very, very much for being here tonight, for sharing in the fellowship, and hopefully feeling recognized the way you should be. So that, I'll turn it back to Larry. Thank you very much.
All right. So this is the time you've all been waiting for here. So not everybody who's retiring is in this room, so we'll be going down a list, and let me tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to announce the names. I will do, and you have my word here, I'm going to do my level best to properly pronounce everybody's name. I don't know everyone personally, so I'll do my best. When called, you will come to the stage. You will shake some hands. You will go over there and get your picture taken with Ina and Tiffany Lilly. She is the Assistant Superintendent of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And Dr. Tremblay is here as well. So hopefully we have all the plaques in order. One more thing, retirees, so Larry, you're going too fast. We're trying to expedite the process, and there will be at one point or two throughout the evening a line here. Okay? There's just that many people. I'm trying to get your titles ready, and, let's just get to it, shall we? All right, here we go. Carolyn Pratt, the school nurse at Brophy Elementary School. And although I was going to say hold your applause until the very end, applaud as you'd like. Charlotte Carr, she's a kindergarten teacher from Brophy. Where is she? Cindy Barhoff, she's an elementary teacher from Brophy Elementary School. Are we already going too fast, my friends? Yeah, all right. Yeah, Mr. Wolpe wanted to expedite things a little too quickly. That's all right. We'll get it done. Slowly. Don't get in the picture. Okay, slow down. Did we get one picture? Okay. All right. I'll say names and then I'll look. So we've gotten Carolyn, Charlotte, and Cindy. Clara Wiswell. She is a special education. She apparently has her own cheering section here. Clara, she's a special education assistant teacher at Walsh Middle School. So thank you for your service. Yeah, be careful. It's steep going up those stairs. Let them take and then you take. We'll do it. We're mixing it up. Hey, it's the first time, right? We're doing okay. Moving along. Colleen Gazzard. She's an elementary teacher from Dunning. We'll say some names. We'll get a little line going here. Cynthia Villanueva. She's the ESL department head from Framingham High School. All right. Yeah, well, hey, I was going to make a joke about you taking a couple of my employees, but I didn't. It's good. No, I'm just kidding, Cynthia. Thank you. Congratulations. Woo!
We also had an addition. Jack Patrick Lewis wanted to also give an acknowledgement. Could we interrupt and you just...
There, we interrupt this program. This is called winging it. In football, they call it punting. In theater, they call it vamping. And this is what we're going to do. So sometimes when you do this type of event, people whisper in your ear, Larry would like to do this. So with that, here's your state representative, Jack Patrick Lewis, who would like to acknowledge the retirees. And then we'll come back to this long list of names and we'll get ready to applaud. Here you go. Good to see you, sir.
I had no intention of speaking. I wasn't on the program. But this morning I was at an event in Boston, and I was waiting for the event to get going, and I read through the program book, and we were honoring Cynthia Villanueva. And I thought to myself, wait, there must be another Cynthia in the world. She would be here. And so I texted her a picture of her award, which she somehow did not know she was receiving. So I tried to rearrange my schedule so that I could come and celebrate with you. And if folks will just allow me 30 more seconds, I first met Cynthia and Donna Rosinski. Is she here? I don't think she's here. Donna's not here. And actually our former state rep, Chris Walsh, for the first time 14 years ago this October, when I actually came to Framingham for the first time for the Laramie Project, when there was a concern that protesters were going to be disrupting this beautiful play. And so I came to Framingham and met so many of you and got to know you that night. And the weeks and months ahead, I had no idea we'd be working closely together. So the award you won this morning was on behalf of the Massachusetts Commission on LGBTQ+ Youth to celebrate your many, many years as the leader of the GSA, advocating for accessible restrooms and locker rooms and safe hallways and sports teams for your colleagues, but also the students in Framingham. So on behalf of the entire commission and myself, I apologize for interrupting your award ceremony, but congratulations.
I get for joking about you, Cynthia. That's awesome. Thank you, Representative Lewis. He's taller than I am. Hold on. Are we good? All right. So we have Denise Barlow, technology education teacher at Framingham High School. Yeah, go over. There we go. And while we're on the D's, a personal friend of mine, somebody I've known since I was she's known me since I was like this big, Donna Skinion, the Bright and the Bridge program teacher from Brophy Elementary School. Apologies, there we go. And as Donna's making her way to the stage, there's somebody who every time they call me, this is literally how the conversation goes. Hi, Lear! Just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Simon, the principal of Hemingway Elementary School. If you watch that video, you'll see that little tribute there. Thank you, Liz. Somebody else who knew me when I was starting out in teaching, and I think she looked at me and said, is this what you really want to do? And somehow I did it. Oh, thank you very much for the bear. That's unplanned. Oh, that felt good. All right, hold on. Just kidding. All right. Oh, boy. Now you embarrassed the school. You're in trouble. Hi, Facebook. Gail Chansey, student success coach from Harmony Grove. And I don't know, I wasn't supposed to tell stories about people, but I remember this woman from way back when I first started teaching. Congratulations. And she like knew everything about everything and still continues to know everything about everything. So Jay Goodwin from Dunning Elementary School. I joked about substitute teaching, and that's how I got my start in this thing, because it wasn't my first career, and there was this one school in town that would keep calling me, and I felt like a preferential substitute. It was McCarthy Elementary School, and that's where I met Jim Parr. James Parr is here. So congratulations to you, sir. I'm sorry, I don't have stories for everybody. Congratulations. But Jane Lacey, the physical education teacher from Brophy, congratulations to you. Yeah, we're working it out. So these are the kinks. We'll have a debrief and we'll figure it all out. This woman, I remember from when I first came into school administration, I believe she was already doing it, but she is the vice principal of McCarthy Elementary School. And I was so upset I couldn't go to her party. I had another party. You know, it's that time of year. Jean Nolan. Jean. All right. And the special education teacher from Fuller Middle School, Kathleen Gagan. Congratulations. And I hope it's spelled right here, Kathy, but you are an elementary teacher from McCarthy Elementary School. One of those people, like one of the first people I met in the district, and I remember so much about her. Kathy Kenny Marshall, congratulations. Oh boy, they gave me the cue to slow down. All right. Where's that Aladdin music or whatever it was you were playing before? Can we vamp with that? It was under this, a little, yeah. Look, I know my Disney. Just give me a second. Yeah. It's Little Mermaid, right? Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Da, 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 da. Here we go. Yeah. Oh. Look what they said. Oh, I got excited. Do you want to promote yourself? Is that going to change retirement? She's an assistant teacher, actually, at Fuller Middle School. Kathy Gagan, one more time. That's what I get for going too fast, Kathy. You make those mistakes. Good, though. Congratulations. Are we ready for... There we go. Okay. Where are we going here? A dual language teacher, dual language history teacher, who I just met this afternoon as we're driving into the lot. She's like, is this Fuller Middle School? I'm like, I work strictly with kids K to 5. I don't know, but I think it is, and I don't know where to park. But Maria Lourdes Santos, so congratulations. Was it? Yeah, there's a whole little, oh, that's good. That's fine. Okay. The Department of Health and Wellness has a wonderful office manager. It's Maureen Herod. So congratulations. Herod or Harrod? I'm sorry, that's one of the ones. Is Maureen not here? Who edited this? Who's got this? That's all right. Move on. All right. Next up, another school administrator, the vice principal of Fuller, this building, Michael Stevens. Oh, yeah, she is. I should know her. Yeah. She works in my building. All right. You want to do that one next? Wow, live without a net. Okay, it happens. So, next up, a personal friend of mine, a true one of a kind. I had the opportunity to really talk about her last week. Dr. Luciana Castrione, the school psychologist at Potter Road. So we did. So when I started out, I was at Stapleton, and this woman befriended me from day one, and I can't thank her enough, and it was really cool. She said, you're going to do this thing tomorrow night, and I'm going to be there, and let me explain it. So she's a special education assistant teacher from Hemingway Elementary School, Michelle Dillon. So Michelle, congratulations. All right. We'll keep it going here. Somebody else who was over at McCarthy had like all the people of back in the day. Special education assistant teacher from Walsh Middle School, Nancy Solomon. Nancy. Fun fact, I taught her daughter years ago. She's doing great things, right? All right, good. Thank you. Shannon Kenny, an interventionist at Dunning. So congratulations to you. Oh. Is that person here? Yep. Oh, okay. Okay, you can't see. The lights are really blaring here. All right, so this guy likes to call me and get references for people in my building and then take them from me. So I just want to thank him for that before he officially retires. But his name is Mark McGilvery. He's the associate principal of Framingham High School. Mark. Well, okay. I love, it's fun when you're up here and the mic is live and things are cooking and you get conflicting information. So, hey, he's not here, but let's applaud for him anyhow. Okay. Moving along. Sharon, that's you. And then we have another Sharon. Sharon, are you back? You told me to hang on. Yeah, okay, making sure. She said, hang on, I'm going someplace. Sharon Rodriguez, special education aide from Barbieri. Okay. We are almost there, I think, until somebody whispers in my ear that somebody's here, but yet they're not. Virginia Magnani, she is the family and consumer science teacher from Framingham High School. Virginia, is that her? I'm sorry, I don't know what anybody looks like. I'll have to check the photos outside. And don't forget to take the photos home. When was the last time you had two Virginias in the same room? And this person I had a chance to say hello to and really give a good talking to last week for all of her years of dedication. Virginia Holine, an elementary teacher at Potter Road. Oh, I did her. Yeah. I announced her. Yeah. Did she not come up? Oh, all right. No, wait, there's more. Okay. Yeah, it's funny for you. Funny for you. No, there's one more, I swear. Hold on. No, all right. Maureen Harrod, are you in the house?
No, she left.
Yeah. Was I boring you? Was that what it was? It could have been. We said that. We did that.
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah, that person too. Totally. Any of them here?
Yep. Nope. I think it's.
And then we have her.
The last one. Yeah.
Yeah, and she not only. So this next person. So here's what we're going to do to this next person. Okay, she's going to actually. Oh wait, we have two things happening concurrently here. I'm going to announce her. Then I'm going to tell you what we're doing, and then we're going to get Ina to draw some names, and then we're going to. You see how this works? Yeah. Okay. Ellen McKinnon, are you here? Ellen, did I get it right, or is it Mackinnon? Oh, Mackinnon. Okay, I asked. That's what I get. So Ellen, she is the Child Care Center Program Coordinator for Framingham High School. She's been at this for more than, get this, 50 years. Yeah. So Ellen, I have on my script that you're going to say a few words. Did you know that? You're going to say a few words once you get your picture taken. So we're going to do a couple of things. Then you're going to come up and just take over. No, a couple of things first. Get the picture. Get the picture. So take your picture and then we'll talk. Wow. It's like having my wife up here. I like that. If you didn't hear her, she said, "Get it together, Larry." Yeah. I hear that all the time. Ellen, don't go anywhere. Stay right there. I'll tell you when it's time. Okay, so a couple of things. Not only are the parting gifts those big pictures, but there's all sorts of, what do we have, flowers for people? before this, hold on. Let's have a side conference. You told me that we're going to do a little, we're going to do a drawing of names, right? We're going to do some things.
I tried to confuse you, so I look the best tonight.
All right, so you look the best tonight. Well, you had that joke, so there's that. So now we're going to do a drawing for what? You know what? You go and tell them what we're doing a drawing for.
I try to keep all the information to myself, so that way it makes me look really, really good and smart. So we have a drawing, the beautiful flower arrangements that you saw, hopefully, when you came in. We kind of raffle them off, and so we pick just names out of a bag. So I'm going to read your name, and if I read your name as you exit today, go ahead and grab a flower arrangement.
As you exit, remember, Ellen's going to say a few words.
That's right.
One more thing.
Yes.
Then you get your flowers.
James Parr. Ellen Mackinnon. Jane Lacey. Cynthia Villanueva. Donna Skinian. Virginia Magnani. Kathleen Gagan. Kathy Kenny Marshall. Jay Goodwin. And Sharon Rodriguez. Congratulations. And now it's really my great honor and privilege to call Ellen Mackinnon back to the stage. Ellen was responsible for raising all of my children when they were in the daycare and blocks preschool. So it is my really I'm in awe of this woman. So I am just so lucky to be here to introduce you, Ellen.
Congratulations to you here.
Larry, I don't know how to tell you this, but when Tiago asked me to speak tonight, he offered me $1,000.
I can't say it on Facebook.
But then, Larry, he said, I hesitated, and he said, well, if you do it, I'll give everybody in the entire school district $1,000. Right? So I said, what? So did you get your 1,000?
I did.
Okay. All right. And the photographs, those are great. And my husband, Mike, is here tonight. And he leaned over and said, we could put that in the barn. Okay. Before I start with what I prepared, is Donna Skinian here? Where is she? Okay, Donna. Donna's father, in 1971, was my first principal, Arthur Dale Pratt. An amazing man. I loved him then, I still do. And then she and her siblings came to South High when I taught there, so I was her teacher. Then she went to school, and she came back to South High to teach, and she started in 1988 the Blocks program. It was called Project Blocks then, and she was my daughter's teacher. And then her children came to South High, to Framingham High School, and I was their teacher. So we keep going around and around. Are we done yet, Donna, you think? That was amazing. So Tiago asked me if I would be willing to speak today about the changes during my 51 years of teaching in Framingham, and I said, no, what? No, why me? And he says, well, because you've been here so long. And then he said, there's going to be free food. And like any smart teacher 50 years ago or today, I came for the free food. So speaking of changes is what he wanted me to talk about. Is that right? Okay. He said, so changes. In 1971, I was 23. I had no gray hair. I could teach all day in high heels, and I wore a size 8. Now, I'm not really blaming Framingham or the kids or the teachers or anything for any of that, but really, here I am. All right. So, picture this, Framingham, 1971, downtown. That's where I started, in that old building which I loved. I ignored the asbestos pipes going through, and every time I went, shh, I ignored the flushing or whatever that was going through the basement room. Because I had a bachelor's degree, I had the job, and I was about to make the big bucks. In 1971, my starting salary was $7,452 a year. Not a month, a year. So Mike and I were so excited because that was $143 a week in addition to his teaching salary. So today, teachers would probably make $1,000 a week, first-year bachelor's teachers, but I don't know if that's really going to be much of a difference in living when you consider the inflation and cost of living. I think maybe it's about the same, but I was excited to be here, and like all the good young people we're fortunate to hire today, I had high hopes, good intentions, and enthusiasm. So what's changed since we started to teach? Does anybody remember mimeograph machines? Okay. So you'll be able to do the mimeograph machine with me, right? So first, you had to get a carbon and make a copy, and you had to type it on an electric typewriter. And you had to type hard so the master would come through, and if you made a mistake, you couldn't correct it unless you used a razor blade to take some, it didn't work. Then you had to load the mimeograph machine with paper, and then you had to take this container and put the fluid into it. The fluid was isopropanol and methanol. And then you had to quickly flip it over without getting it on you, because if you got it on you, who knows what happened? Your clothes were ruined, And if you got it on your master, it just took all of that ink you carefully typed on and just dripped it right off. So that took about 2 hours. Then you inserted the master into the mimeograph machine, and then you started to turn the handle. We didn't have an electric one, and you had to turn it. So you would kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you carefully preserved the master so you could use it again next semester or next year. And the students loved it when you had done them at the last minute. And you brought them to class, and they still smelled of that methanol and ethanol and all the rotten stuff. And a couple of them got just a little high. Okay. That was the real olden days. Then in the olden days, in the 80s, we got an Apple IIc at South High School. It was a word processor and a calculator. It had a game console. I didn't know how to use it, but we could type and correct and save and print, and it was great. But we were told, don't let the kids touch it. Little did we know that the kids could have taught us how to do it really quickly and easily. They'd be much better at all this than we were, because they love to show you what they know how to do. Now we have Google Docs. You type the doc on the computer. It tells you what's wrong, it tells you what your grammar was, and then you send it to the nearest printer and you go pick it up. So much easier, so much faster. Or you don't even have to use any paper at all. Kids can just send their assignments in in Google, send them to you on Canvas, you see it on Canvas, you correct it, you make edits, you send it back, they send it back to you, and eventually it's done and it's finished and you can grade them. So much better. Another thing that happened in the olden days was when you had to do report cards, you had to add up all the grades you'd put in by hand with a calculator and subtract and divide and all of that. And then you had to go to the main office where the report cards were, and you had to enter your students' grades by hand on the report cards. Does anybody remember that? Please say yes. Okay, all right. So they were pretty good. It worked pretty well. But today, Canvas loads the tests, the assignments, corrects them, sends the grades over. You don't even have to know your students' names anymore. That's joke we do, really do. So things are moving faster and faster, and it's taking the drudgery out of the work. I don't know if it's better. I know that with demands are more, we have to work harder and harder and harder. The next thing I want to talk about that's changed is the dress code. First-year teachers in the 70s wore high heels, hose, dresses. Men wore shirts and ties and jackets every day. There were no casual Fridays or jeans or comfortable clothes. In fact, in 1971, on your annual evaluation, the last item was personal appearance. And you got rated 1 to 4. Yeah. So what also has changed is the size and complexity of the central office. You used to go there and there'd be like 4 or 5 doors and you'd say, they say, oh, you need to go down there and you'd be done. But as teaching and as children and the society has become more complex, so has that. I know. In 1974, I was told by the director of personnel, that's now called human resources, that I could not use sick leave when I gave birth to my second son. Their rationale, or irrationale, was that they could not grant sick leave for self-inflicted conditions. I'm quoting Mr. I won't say his name. And wouldn't I really rather stay home with my new child anyway? But Title IX had passed, women had found a strong voice, and my wonderful enlightened principal, Arthur Del Pratt, Donna's father, himself the father of 6 young children, understood that pregnancy and childbirth were not technically self-inflicted. And I was given my accrued sick time to recover and then go back to work, but it was not a maternity leave. And when I adopted my daughter in 1984, I was not allowed parental leave for adoption to bond with her. I had to fly in from Bogota, Colombia on a Sunday and be back at work on Wednesday. But eventually our awesome Framingham Teachers Association leadership negotiated maternity, paternity, and parental leave, understanding the need for families to be together at this time, and also understanding the need for families to continue to earn a living, because the 2-parent family was the norm now, and for that I've been grateful. And then in 2004, the director of human resources, Don McCallion, encouraged the opening of an FHS child staff child care center. His motivation was to attract and retain top quality teachers who are also parents and members of the 2 working parent generation. Ena London was one of those parents that we attracted and retained. And for a lot of parents, that's really been the difference that kept them here when they could have gone somewhere else. So the center is full every year and provides that attraction and that retention perk that teachers are happy to pay for. And the principal and the central office and everybody has supported in every way. Quite a change from my experiences as a young parent in 1974. So I'm really going to miss a lot about teaching. But some of the really fun things are like the Friday before vacation. That's really fun. And anticipation of a snow day. Now, hey, Tiago, they tell me that none of us are going to get any more snow days. Is that right? And no more sick days? And no more, none of that? Really? I want more than $1,000, okay? We used to have a snow chain. Anybody remember the snow chain? Did you do that ever, Bob? Now, what you know about a chain is it's only as strong as its weakest link. And these snow chains had some weak links. I tell you. One weak link was the superintendent who went away to northern New Hampshire for the weekend where it wasn't snowing, okay? So school wasn't called off. It was a little bit of a chaotic day. But the superintendent would call 5 people, principals, I guess, and then the principals would call key people in their building, and then the key people would call key people. It kind of went down like that. Sometimes it worked really well, and sometimes it didn't. Okay, what else? Oh, the other thing is telephones. Think that's changed in 51 years? There was a principal's phone, a vice principal's phone, guidance phone, secretary had a phone, and that's it. So 4 phones. And if you wanted to call somebody, you had to use the secretary's phone in the main office in front of everybody. It was kind of tough. Now you cannot go down the hall, you can't teach a class without having phone. It's really, really changed. A lot. We used to actually communicate when we only had the phones in the office by writing in, as my granddaughter said, cursive? Yeah, we would write notes to leave it in people's mailboxes. We just stopped by my office. That's how we communicated. Notes home to parents. They actually got their notes home, notes from parents to teachers. What has not changed, though, is that teachers work very hard for way, way more than 7 hours a day. The teachers care about students and want the best for each of them, even through COVID. How many of you delivered stuff to kids' houses during COVID? Ginny? You just went there, you brought it to all these kids, you gave them what they needed, you went back when they lost it. I can't find it. Okay, you just did that. I know that collaboration has made teaching better, and it helps keep teachers going strong. And students need way more than we know. Students need way more than we know, and we can do the best we can, but we'll keep trying, I guess. So I remember thinking in 1971, I did it. I got a job and I'm a teacher. I was grateful then and I still am today. Framingham trusted me to do the job. They let me work as hard and as long as I wished. Principals gave me encouragement and support, and colleagues collaborated to make the work better. That's why I stayed 51 years. Things have changed, but I do believe we have changed for the better. I do believe we have changed for good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen, for your many years of service and dedication to the students, and that was awesome. Loved going down memory lane there. So, with that, I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And keep an eye on this. On your way out, don't forget to grab your cookies. And thanks for being here, and thank you, retirees.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. I got my money. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it. Like, oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Let's get